the problem of high prices of food.
Mr. President,
these are obvious, and that is why I am very confident that the court will look at it, look at what is the public interest, what is the public good that comes with housing. Let me ask finally, to own a house in Kenya today, you need to have 4 million, 5 million, the simplest, the cheapest house. We are giving an opportunity through this affordable housing program for a mamamboga or a boda guy to buy a house of 400,000 where they can pay 4,000 shillings a month and eventually own a house. I mean, we are giving dignity to every Kenyan. And let me tell you, finally, housing was a program that was in the UDA manifesto, the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, 1.5%. It was in Azimio manifesto, 1.5%. Yeah, it's not, and we all know that it is the right thing to do because other countries have done it and they have made a big difference. We have had this housing thing for as long as I have been a politician, but nobody has had the courage to implement it. Nobody has had the plan to do it.
Have you stopped to wonder or ask what the people think, what their sentiments are about this? Because times are tough, Mr. President.
Put in mind, 70% are saying no to this program.
Yeah.
Just wait. I want you to go to where these Kenyans are working. Go and ask them. Go and ask them. The beneficiaries, the people who are working today, they are not even the owners. They are just working. Go and ask them. And you see, this is the beginning of a program. Give it time. Kenyans will come to appreciate that, yes, my son is working, my daughter is working. If they are not working at the construction site, they are an architect, or they work in some company, they are an accountant in some company that is doing cement and construction products. And let me ask you, countries like Singapore, like Malaysia, like Korea, we all have been talking about them. We've been saying, oh, you know, we were at the same level with Korea, but today they are different from us. They make tough decisions. That's why they are where they are. We have to make tough decisions if we have to catch up. I mean, if we want to continue to make convenient, politically correct decisions, we will continue to remain in the same place. And I know, for example, that it is politically expensive. I would be a very popular person if I abolished tomorrow. I said, okay, let's forget about the housing thing. People will call for
Mr. President, I don't think there's anyone saying that you should stop it.
I don't want to be...
Mr. President, if you remember, Mr. President...
I want to transform Kenya.
Yes, if you remember...
Transforming Kenya is not a walk in the park. Transforming Kenya is not going to be done using convenient, politically correct, popular decisions. Some of the decisions may be difficult now, but we will all see the benefits as we go.
No doubt about that, Mr. President.
It is the wrong time. We've had housing as a plan for the last 50 years. Are you telling me for the last 50 years there was no correct time? It is never too late. It is never wrong to do the right thing.
Mr. President, just let's stay to the housing fund. Because when it started and you were walking around the country and selling this dream to many Kenyans, you told us this was a fund and we will contribute. And if you didn't want the house or didn't benefit, at the end of the day, you would get your money out at some point. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, at the end of the day, Parliament, you would get your money out. It turned into a levy and a tax. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, at the end of the day, Parliament, you would. What really changed? Get your money out. It turned into a levy and a tax. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, at the end of the day, Parliament would. What really changed? Get your money out. It turned into a levy and a tax. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, at the end of the day, Parliament would. What really changed? This means that it turned into a levy and a tax. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, at the end of the day, Parliament would. What really changed? This means that it turned into a levy and a tax. Then overnight, you didn't benefit, was it because you really what really changed? This was just was it because that you start the housing fund? You are here fighting the fire of housing. Again, you start the medical, the health crisis. Before this is done, even it's off, you are dealing with the taxation, you know. And because of that, nearly every government agency is now waking up with taxes. So you find, you know, levies going up by 3,900%. You find even pets now being, they're going to be taxed. And Kenyans are wondering, what has happened? Do you feel that you're out of touch with the people that you lead? Because then it will explain some of the decisions that you're doing.
Thank you very much for asking that question. Let's start with the levy. I proposed a fund. Yeah? There is a principle in Kenya today called public participation. It went to public participation. And Parliament, when coming from public participation, came and said it should instead be a levy. Right? And as president, if the people said they wanted this changed into a different way of doing it, I agreed that okay, let's go this way. But what did I do to make sure that it captures everybody? We changed the design of the whole delivery of the housing so that now we have social housing for the people at the bottom of the pyramid. The people will pay 4,000 or 5,000 shillings and get a house. We have affordable housing for people in the middle who will pay between 5,000 and 15,000 every month. But we have also included 30% of all the units to include the people who...
I was very happy. Pastor is meeting 300,000 people.
Everybody a beneficiary. Social houses, their mortgage will be at 3%. The people who will buy affordable houses, their mortgage will be at 6%. And the people who will be buying the market houses, we will reduce their mortgage by half. Even you, instead of paying 18%, you will now have an opportunity to pay at 7%. So that way, we are making sure that everybody who is paying has a chance to own a house. And that is how we are delivering.
Mr. President, on the question of accountability, because it is good that you highlight what happened at the public participation, and you say that Kenyans said they don't want it as it was structured at that time. You also attribute responsibility to Parliament that they decided it should be a levy. Then you say, yourself, you say, let us change how it works. So I see a bit of distribution of responsibility. But did Kenyans tell you they wanted to be a levy or a tax?
What Kenyans told me is that they want jobs.
Structured that time. On that particular question, participation was on the housing levy, said it should be a levy.
But you know, when Kenyans tell you they want jobs, it is you as a leader to figure out.
But did Kenyans tell you they wanted to be a levy? And so you presented a housing levy in the finance bill.
What Kenyans told me is that they wanted housing. And I told them, I am going to create Kenyans
participation on the housing levy, said it should be a levy.
And I have created jobs. But you know, when Kenyans tell you they want jobs, it is you as a leader to figure out.
But did
I make a commitment to the people of Kenya that I'm going to implement housing? What Kenyans told me is that did I tell them we will create jobs? I told them housing. I am going to create Kenyans participation on the housing levy, said it should be a levy.
And I have created jobs.
But you know, when that is, and you see
Mr. President, sorry for this, but Mr. President, you are saying that you promised all those things and you are doing. But when people tell you, we don't want it, so I see a bit of disconnection from a levy. I mean, from housing fund, from a contribution to a tax that is not even, you can't recoup it after the 7 years. How did the translation into that become?
You see, Sam, you're splitting hairs.
I'm not splitting.
Yes, you are. Because what you are saying, you're trying to find fault. What is the greater good? What is the national interest? I mean, to you, does creating 120,000 jobs register anything good?
It is a good thing, but I'm asking you about public participation
That's making sure that an ordinary person who would otherwise never have a chance to own a home, now they have a chance to own a home. Does that make sense to anybody? Yes, it does.
And the process.
So you see, if you pass an exam with 80%, it's an A, my brother.
Mr. President,
it may have not be 100% what I wanted, but it is 80% what I wanted. It is doing 80% of the job. Surely give me some marks.
Mr. President, the question is at what cost? At what cost, Mr. President? Because granted, the people told you they need jobs. This means they do not have the jobs. This means they do not have money in their pockets. And in response, what you're doing is taxing them further.
But let me ask you, my dear sister, the people who are working today did not have a job, right? Those are the people in the street. They didn't have a job. The people who have a job have had to pay 1.5%. 1.5% so that we can give a job to somebody else. And for your information, that somebody else that is getting a job is a taxpayer. They contribute to what we eventually earn. Is it too much for us as public servants who earn a salary to give 1.5% of our salary so that somebody else, another Kenyan, who is also a taxpayer, who also deserves something, they don't have a job because the job maybe they would have, I have. But I'm being asked, contribute 1.5% so that that other Kenyan who is walking in the street can have a job.
But it's not just that, Mr. President.
Let me just finish. They too can own a home the same way you own a home. I don't think that is being asked.
It's not just that, Mr. President.
Bado hujalijibu la mwenzangu Wafula pale. Amesema iweje wakati huu ndio munaleta tuseme hizi taxations nyingi, mumeanza na affordable housing na bado hatuja elewa vizuri zaidi, tuko kwa health, bado tunajaribu taxations. Kwa nini zimekuja kwa wakati mmoja kiasi cha kwamba Mkenya anasikia uzito? Kwa nini isikwende step by step kiasi cha kwamba hata Mkenya atajua ni kweli tunasonga mbele lakini si finyiki, maisha yako sawa?
Wacha nikueleze. Mambo ya health kwa mfano. It is the profiling, it is the spin that you people are many people, let me not accuse you, many people are spinning it. What are we doing? What are we doing in health? We are saying in health, we want to reduce those who are, and they are, by the way, the majority of the people who are, when I spoke about hustlers, people thought I was not serious. I was very serious. That is why I am saying, those of us who have a job, let's contribute 1.5%, good people, so that those of us who are hustlers, the people in the street, can, even them, they can have a job. They now have 120,000 of them on a job. That's number one. On this, on the health, what are we doing? We are saying three things. Number one, for the first time, every Kenyan, even those who today cannot afford nothing, they will have a health insurance. For the first time. Number two, those who, the kind of unfairness that there can be. Mama Mboga is paying 10% of our income for health insurance. William Ruto, the president of Kenya, is paying 0.001%. Why? All we are saying is, let everybody pay an equal percentage of what they earn. Is that too much to ask? What will happen? The people who are paying 500 will come down to 300. Is there anybody saying that there are people who will get an insurance cover who do not have? No. Are there people who are saying that those at the bottom of the pyramid will reduce their money or their contribution from 500 to 300? No. The people who are talking are not talking about those things because they are not convenient and because many of us believe those people don't matter. I want to tell you, my friends, those people are also Kenyans. They matter the same way we do. Let us give them a chance.
And Mr. President,
let us give them a chance to also participate in Kenya. Let us give that fellow, that mama who has no chance. And let me tell you, for the first time, a person who would otherwise die of cancer or diabetes or hypertension, because when they go to hospital, they are told they don't have the money. For the first time, we have a special kitty which all of us will contribute and give everybody a chance at life. I mean, my friends, all we are saying is let us have a country where nobody is left behind.
Maybe the question...
Because we are just thinking about ourselves. We are discussing how our salary is going to be, how 1.5% of our salary... There are people who have never seen who have never seen a pay slip. There are people who really, genuinely don't have a chance at life. I am asking the rest of Kenya, please, let us give a chance at life to many more Kenyans than those of us who are employed. We are only 3 million. We have 10 million people out there.
Mheshimiwa Rais, umesema kwamba makato haya mapya ya bima ya afya yatashughulikia kila Mkenya kupata matibabu. Na kwa Wakenya ambao hawana uwezo wa kulipia bima hii, mtawashughulikia vipi kama serikali?
Kabisa, you have asked me the best question. Genuinely. Don't have a chance at life. Sheria mpya. I'm asking the rest of Kenya, please, let us give a chance at life to many more Kenyans than those who are employed. Wale wa Kenya, only 3 million. We have 10 million people out there.
Mheshimiwa Rais, umesema kwamba
serikali ya Kenya
makato haya mapya ya bima ya afya yatashughulikia kila Mkenya kupata matibabu. Na kwa Wakenya ambao hawana uwezo wa
na wale tayari tuko na wale ambao wako katika programu hii ya genuinely don't have a chance at life. Sheria mpya. I'm asking the rest of Kenya, please, they are about to give a chance at life. My estimate is that another 3 million. Tumesema wale wa Kenya, only 3 million ambao hawawezi watu karibu milioni 5.
Mheshimiwa Rais, umesema kwamba
serikali ya Kenya
makato haya mapya ya bima yatashughulikia kila Mkenya kupata matibabu. Na kwa Wakenya ambao hawana uwezo
na wale hata na wao tayari tuko na wale ambao wako katika programu karibu wa Kenya wengine karibu 8 don't have a